everyone. I just wanted to talk about some things that I've been asked regarding diets and regarding sticking to your plan, and as regards being good and trying to lose weight after binge eating, right? So when we're in a pattern of binge eating, we really want to get better, and all our focus is on being good and eating like other people. When we see other people, let me get a little bit closer. When we see other people eating, when we see people that are so healthy and that just don't really care what they eat and they're just able to put down their fork, we kind of don't understand how the hell they can do that and what's driving them to not eat everything on the plate and their neighbors' leftovers, right? And this, let me calm down a bit. This pattern of thinking that, oh, I have to stay good and I have to be really good is causing the problems, because it's a huge shift in your mind to realize this is an eating disorder. And I know myself, when I admitted it, it was the scariest fucking thing I ever admitted to myself, ever. Because I thought, oh shit, I really am caught. Like, I saw what a restrictive anorexia did to somebody, and I thought, this is so powerful. Like I've caught it somehow. I've caught the eating disorder. It's not something that you catch, but it's something that you practice and you develop, and it turns into that, right? So what I mean is that when we're in recovery, binge eating is something that we actually need to go through a recovery phase as well. And guess what? The rest of your life is recovery. And this is the really interesting thing, is that what often keeps people stuck in binge eating disorder is the inability and the will not to fully let go of the control and the eating disorder, right? So when we have, let's say, anorexia, somebody's body is completely depleted of calories and nutrients, and their bodies just fade away, right? And the muscle gets eaten, and all of the organs kind of shut down, and all sorts of things happen. The hormones get totally fucked up. So in recovery phase, they need to eat surplus for an amount of time so that their body actually can regulate and start working again, right? So it's just like an empty box, an empty person. And that really is what's needed. It's as much physical as it is psychological. And they're two different things, you know, but the eating is very important. And it is for binge eating too. Okay? So most of you, or some of you, might not know that restricting calories from one's diet causes weight gain. Okay? It actually might cause weight gain. It certainly doesn't help you lose weight after a certain amount of time. Okay, I mean restricting your calories, as in you're still eating, but you're eating less, and you're eating less, and you're eating less. So you should be eating, let's say, 2,000 calories, but you're eating like 1,700, 1,500, and you're trying to lose weight that way. At the beginning, yes, you can trick your body into losing weight, and the body will still function up to like this, expending this amount of energy. But once you start giving it this amount of energy, it'll start burning less, and it actually might slow totally down, And you might be eating up here this much energy, and it might like go like this. Do you get me? And that is what happens. Our bodies, they are so clever. And guys, this is so important to note, and it's a crazy thing that we can keep doing what we were already doing and expect to get the same results. But you know what it takes to get over binge eating? It takes balls, and it takes energy to invest in reading about all of this stuff and actually seeking information about recovery. What's the first step? Admitting that you have a problem, that you've been restricting your whole life. Who wants to admit that? Oh no, I wasn't restricting. Like what I have isn't a proper eating disorder because I'm not even skinny. Who's thought that, right? You can totally have an eating disorder and not be skinny. Who else? Like, it's nuts. It's crazy. And once we start to understand what our bodies actually need to recover out of that state where our bodies are being tired and being fatigued, and the basal metabolic rate is so low that whatever we eat, we'll put on weight, right? I used to eat such little food and like the lowest calorie foods, and I'd still put on weight. Oh my God, it was nuts. It was bonkers. I couldn't understand why I was eating so different to everybody else on the planet. And yet they were eating so much more unhealthy than me, like all these animal foods, all this fatty food. And yeah, I just got the short straw, and it was just so annoying. I can't tell you. You probably already know if you're in that situation. But if you've treated your body like that for so long, it's going to respond, and it's going to be like, okay, this is how we're going to function now. And then you're screwed because your body's like holding on to energy. Your fat stores are just there and they're not being used. And your energy is going in and your fat isn't being used because you need to eat a certain way and you need to eat in a certain pattern and not eat in a certain pattern to tap into those fat stores and let that fat go. And that is the science of, well, like healthy eating, but healthy living and understanding how our bodies work, right? This is what I've discovered. And I've discovered huge balance and recovery. But let me just point out what I mean by restriction, because if you've been restricting for a length of time, I didn't even know I was restricting, and that's a huge thing to admit to yourself. If you ever think about portions, right, I used to get a bowl this size, and that was my bowl. For salads it was big, but my bowl, if I was going to have anything, it would be in a bowl, like a cereal bowl. And I'd have like a bit. And that was like, I have all these colorful bowls in the press. And once I started to kind of break these habits and really allow myself eat food in whatever quantities I wanted, I started to use like a plate that was like bigger. And then like a bigger plate. And whoa, I can have this much food. That's when you know you were restricting. When you eat when the plate that you eat out of is only really small, or if you just have like a small spoon of whatever food. And that used to fuck me up because that meant that I was going back. I was still hungry. I was still hungry all the time. I was hungry all the time, and I was eating all the time. there was no stopping me eating, even though I tried to trick myself that I'd be eating like low calorie foods or fruit or rice cakes or whatever wasn't fatty or wasn't going to impact me so bad. But that constant eating and that constant eating small foods and just the wrong things that I needed in general was fucking with my body and fucking with my mind as well. Okay, so there's certain patterns that make your body work in a certain way, and it's kind of like eating disorder mode, you know, and you're just going around like a circle. And guys, as crazy as your mind is in an eating disorder, like restricting binging pattern, our bodies are that crazy as well, because the hormones are just trying to survive and they don't work properly because you're anxious and you're stressed all the time and you're thinking about food in a way that is not right. So this is what I've learned about healing the mind and healing the body, and really what's necessary psychologically. It's been huge, and I have lost weight since I started to eat whatever I wanted. It's huge. It's absolutely insane. Just stop restricting. And that's really what took I ate chocolate for, I'd say, like 3 or 4 days in a row. Like a lot of chocolate. Now maybe you might eat chocolate for like 2 weeks in a row, but it will soon lose its excitement. And that might seem kind of impossible or weird, or like, how can I eat donuts for a week, or how can I eat hamburgers for a week? But if you're already eating the hamburgers and you're eating like 17 in a row, I think there's a huge difference between it's okay that I'm eating this instead of this is crazy and this makes me fat and this is... We mightn't think that we're thinking that, but we might be feeling that. So it's just wonderful to be aware about the energy that we bring to our food, that we bring to our eating, while we are actually trying to recover and end this cycle and end this horribleness that's going on up here when we actually do have the power. Okay, guys? I love you all so much. Best of luck tomorrow. Mwah.